Oh, that is massive. What is that?
That's what we mean by big boy.
No.
When we say big boy, we mean that.
Ready to liberate!
Why?
We've got a lot to say about Helldivers 2. You may know everything you need to know about this game already, as it's been out nearly a year now and has enjoyed well-earned success. We want to give you the facts, so you know the basics about what you're getting into with this game, but we'll spend more time than most talking about what we liked about the game and what really moved us. If you're looking at this game because you want to have a good time, we're going to tell you if this game can provide that or not, but from the only point of view that we can give, which is our own. So we won't always agree with the popular internet opinion of things, and if you can handle that, let's talk about Helldivers 2.
Released in February 2024, Helldivers 2 is a third-person action game that puts you in the boots of a soldier in the Super Earth Armed Forces. Everything in the game, from the heavily satirical nature of its patriotism and propaganda, to the highly expendable nature of the Helldivers themselves, is an homage to the classic Starship Troopers story some of us know and love.
Warm it all up! Everything you've got! Come on, you hate! You want to live forever?
And if you don't know and love Starship Troopers because you haven't seen it like me, you should watch it.
In fact, the Helldivers are so expendable that they are only given a few minutes of training before being frozen in stasis and shipped straight to the warfront. Every time you die in this game, a new Helldiver is defrosted and sent to take your place.
And you will die in this game.
Note that I did not shoot you in the face.
No,
and I could have.
I sidestepped to the side as soon as
could have shot
as soon as your laser came out.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Isaac, watch!
What am I watching?
So much.
Ending in an eagle!
See how long kchan stands there before she moves.
I was moving. Fuck off.
Not only from the enemies, which vastly outnumber you and your tiny team of 4 Helldivers, but also from your team itself. You see, friendly fire is always on in this game. When you're not paying attention, you can walk right into a bomb your teammate just dropped, or be instantly shredded by an autonomous machine gun sentry they just deployed. But it's okay. You've got an infinite supply of Helldivers literally chilling in your ship, ready to be called in for duty at a moment's notice. The duty we speak of are the orders of Super Earth High Command, who will direct you to what objectives they deem important through the use of major orders. Basically, you can think of the overall story of this game like a tabletop RPG campaign. There's a games master at Arrowhead who places events into the game and objectives that the Helldivers need to complete. For example, currently there is a huge space station being constructed here. When complete, the space station will provide new weapons and functions in-game to everyone, so it's in everyone's interest to help get it done. In order to get started, an order was given for Helldivers to capture, or as they say in-game, quote-unquote, liberate a planet for the station to begin work on. Then, as different fuels and supplies are needed for the construction effort, orders would be given to take specific other planets rich with those resources. So when you, eager Helldiver ready to aid in a war effort, log on to the game to play a few rounds with the homies, you always have an objective to work towards for the good of the whole game community. Hovering over any actively contested planet will show you how many fellow Helldivers are fighting there, allowing you to easily see where you are needed. You could also just go play a few missions on whatever random planet you want. Nothing is stopping you. You have the freedom to choose, and that's pretty cool if you ask me.
Each mission you will take on in Helldivers contains a main mission objective and a few side objectives contained within a small section of the planet you'll be fighting on. These maps are procedurally generated, built from so many beautiful biomes. Seriously, look at this. You'll be boots on the ground in locations from overgrown swamps, to burning deserts, to cratered moons. Really anything you can think of. And scattered between all your main and side objectives are small points of interest that can contain collectibles, new weapons, and in-game lore. A lot of the game's story is told through the environment and the missions themselves, and is easily missed if you aren't paying attention. Too bad you'll probably just blow all of that sky high because you and your tiny fire team of Helldivers pack some serious firepower. As you play, you'll unlock primary weapons to carry on you at all times, support weapons that you can call down from your ship when you need them for extra boom, but when you really, absolutely,
positively got to kill every motherfucker in the room, except no substitutes.
You have stratagems, unique weaponry fired from your ship, the Super Destroyer, used to pummel any enemy into submission. Everything from the biggest bombs, frickin' laser beams, napalm in the morning, gas, Call of Duty gunships, you name it. Even mechs if that's your thing. Tons of them with more added all the time. These stratagems operate on a cooldown, so success with them comes down to using them effectively along with your teammates so that the enemies never get a chance to gang up on you. One of the best little details to us, whatever damage your stratagems do to the environment is permanent, destroying the buildings and leaving craters in the ground. So good.
Each enemy on their own is not so dangerous. There are two main factions. The Terminids are your bug-type enemies and are mainly dangerous in large numbers. They come in many different sizes and love to swarm you and overwhelm you if you stay in any one place for too long. They don't seem too intelligent, but they are harvested by Super Earth for the biofuel they create, so obviously they fight back. The other faction is the Automatons. These sentient machines used to be Super Earth's unpaid involuntary workforce, but now they fight for the ability to live as they see fit. They too come in all sizes, but they fight completely differently from the Terminids. They use weapons from rockets to laser guns, so you'll need to really be on your toes, or you will be defrosting new Helldivers at an alarming rate. Also, does our description of the alien enemies you fight seem kind of, I don't know, like we may actually be the bad guys here? The way this game's story is told, through absurdly fascist propaganda and lies, is brilliant. We love how it's critical of what is so obviously wrong with the policy of some of the world's current empires, but does it in a way that is even celebrated by those same people, in a very similar way to its inspiration, Starship Troopers itself. You gotta love art like that.
All of that is kind of just icing on the cake because this game would have still featured its true crowning achievement. It absolutely nails the perfect gameplay loop. Arrowhead achieved a subtle balance so pure that allows people to play together across language barriers or skill differences. No matter what, if the players have the slightest concept of teamwork, they will succeed. It's so finely tuned that you can struggle even in low difficulties if your team play is lacking. You will die over and over, and if you have a good sense of humor about it, you'll still probably find it fun. And on the flip side, the hardest missions in the game are an absolute breeze if your fellow Helldivers are working with you. You don't need to assemble your own squad or beg people to get on the mic and communicate. You can tell just by how the other divers move that they know exactly what they're doing and you better keep up. This also means that out of all the co-op games I've played in my time gaming socially, this is the one with the least toxicity. When I'm playing alone, I tend to join low-level SOSs because I want to help anyone out that's struggling. And I'm still going to get all the things I would get from a higher level mission, just less of it, which I certainly don't mind. Achieving such a perfect gameplay balance as Arrowhead has done here is like absurdly rare. I attribute this to the fact that in reality, this game has been cooking for over 10 years. Arrowhead first showed off the original Helldivers game at Gamescom in 2013. And if you've ever seen or played that original Helldivers, you know that, perspective aside, Helldivers 2 is pretty much the exact same game. There's definitely something to be said for the fact that Arrowhead and Sony believed in this gameplay loop so much that they let it marinate for so long. They have their own goals for the game and how it should play, but they also take feedback and adjust to find a good middle ground with the players. For a while over this past year, discourse has been that the developers nerfed popular weapons so hard that they lost the fun in the process. It's been a long journey to get back to a point where now you can basically take anything you like into battle and it will do work. They tweaked it and refined it, but at its core, the game they created so long ago is the game we are all still enjoying now.
As a live service game, Arrowhead is still adding tweaks and new features every chance they get. The ongoing game development of any live service requires a constant stream of revenue to support it, and Helldivers 2 offers a monetization system that most gamers can agree is more than fair. For the base price of $40, you get Helldivers 2 as a full game with all the in-game events that have come out so far for no added cost. The game's additional paid expansions are $10 war bonds, which give a variety of cool new armors and weapons that you definitely do not need in order to win, but they are fun to have. What's more is that the currency needed to buy those war bonds can be purchased outright with real money, but can also be just found out in the world by playing the game. If you or anybody you are in the missions with finds a hidden stash of these super credits, you all get them. Even without going out of your way to farm this currency, you can have enough to buy new war bonds soon enough. And I think everybody can agree that's overall just a great way to handle monetization. Fair for the developers and fair for the players. Plus, since the game's updates are not organized into seasons like most other live services, the FOMO crowd won't miss out on being able to grab any of the loot. If you didn't play in a year, and 6 new war bonds had come out during that time, you can still buy those war bonds and unlock the gear in them with no problem, because they do not expire.
However, this game does feature unique events from time to time like most live services do, and you will need to be present for those if you want to experience them with the community as a whole, which is the best way to do it. Or, as they would say in game, do your part for the war effort. If you show up to the game after a long hiatus and notice that a whole planet has been replaced with a black hole, or that thousands of Helldivers are fighting to protect the building of a new space station, yes, these are events that shape the story and the world of the game. So in that sense, yes, you may miss out on some things, but don't let that stop you. In the truest tradition of war, the larger story goes right out the window anyway once your boots hit the ground and the shots start flying by your head. All of this great gameplay is brought together in a beautiful package of gorgeous graphics, hard-hitting sound effects, and perfect musical scores that take this relatively small game made by a relatively small developer and elevate it to one of the finest games ever made. We've played a lot of great games this year, and with a few months left, I'm sure there will be a few more great games to come, but we find it hard to imagine that any of them will approach the masterpiece that Arrowhead has created here. We don't get a vote, but if we did, Helldivers 2 would win 2024 Game of the Year.
If you need a number, yes, we give it a perfect 10. So we finally got to pour our love for Helldivers all over you guys. What do you think of the game? If your vote for the Game of the Year isn't this masterpiece, then what game is the best for you? Talk to us in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sending in an eagle! What?
Oh my god.
What was kchan? Oh hell no.
Just gotta save samples.
Kchan, how did you just kill me? You blew all my arms and legs while I was talking about my team killing Dave and behind me. I should save all that. Look at her, she can't even talk.
Joining the fray.
What the hell was that?
She said those samples needed to be liberated.
I didn't bring the mines with me today, sorry.
What did you kill me with? I just fucking exploded. My crossbow, wasn't it? Goddamn. Or you killed me to take my crossbow?
I needed the ammo.